And we're back like we never left. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. This is the Just Know It Sports Show. Check it every Friday night. That's 8 p.m. Anchor, FM, Spotify, Google, and Apple, wherever you get your podcasts. Slide on over to the YouTube channel. Smash that subscribe button, share all that good stuff. Got Doc and Breezy the Don, DJ King, Dre, Juice Man, the Boogie with the highlights, TV, the Poe Man on assignment, and we breaking it on down. How's it been going, fellas?
What's up with
Pretty
it?
good, man. Pretty good.
FSU, baby.
I was thinking about that the other day when I was sitting there watching that game. LSU just really gave that thing away, didn't it? They just kept giving it away. It's like
I just listen.
Hey,
I'm not
Greasy,
an
how do you
LSU
feel?
hater, but just
Go ahead,
knowing
I'm
that
sorry.
Greasy, I got one up on Greasy right now. You can't even say nothing this year. My Seminoles beat his Tigers head up. Hey, I'm good with that.
How you feel about that? How you feel about the coaching hire, Greasy?
Are you mad? You don't want to talk, Greasy?
Stands on the dog's
Damn,
behind
dog.
at least once. At least once. I couldn't
Dang.
get it out.
Oh, that's funny. You don't want to talk about him, huh?
you don't want to talk about it. He had to pause for a minute. But like I said, we back like we never left. And it's like everybody went 3-0 last week on the prediction, except for Greasy. Greasy jumped out there and he picked Cincinnati, but it's a lot of football left to be played. So that leaves the season standings in college football. Juice Man 3-0, King Dre at 3-0, Doc 3-0, Greasy 2-1. But the show is just beginning. We got some NFL highlights and NFL packages and NFL games we're going to be picking up. So at the end of the season, we're going to see who left standing in this thing. But we're going to jump right on into it.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a question for everybody.
Ask away.
There's one thing my grandfather taught me. Just listening to him on one of his fishing stories. Is you can be around XYZ and you can want to do XYZ. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to how bad do you really love it? Like we all know good football players and good athletes in our time that maybe just had natural athletic ability and maybe they didn't love the game and it never flourished. It never prospered into what could have been a professional career. But then you have some players like Andre Miller, average athlete, this and that. Well, I think he was highly recruited, but he loved the game and he worked at it. And he got a 20-year NBA career out of it. Pretty decent player. So my question ponders, how bad does the University of Texas really want to win football games? They have the resources. They got the big dog coming into town. And the coaching staff, Sarkisian is playing it down like it's just another game. No, idiot. It's not just another game. It's the problem I have with the University of Texas. And Texas A&M kind of, sort of, but Texas A&M is Texas A&M. You got one national championship since the Earl Campbell days. You have all the resources. You're in Austin, Texas. You're $1 billion university. Why are you not consistently top 5 program? There's no excuse for the University of Texas not to be a top 5 program in the nation year in and year out. You take a school like TCU, if they had the resources of a Austin, Texas, back when they had Gary Patterson as coach, I could see them really wanting to win football games, and that could have been the start of a dynasty. University of Texas is just kind of like we're Texas, and we're arrogant, and we don't really care if we win football games. I think this is the reckoning. I think this is the comeuppance, and we're going to see how good Texas really is. But that was just a talking point to see. I don't understand why they're not winning as much as they should.
Well, I'm going to say this. I really believe that they're getting out recruited for whatever reason it may be. I'm not sure why we're getting out recruited because I feel like the majority of the best players, they come from Texas, man. I know Greasy would definitely disagree. He would definitely disagree. I think Texas is king when it comes to football. We take our football serious in Texas. Not that everybody else don't, but I just think we're bigger, we're better. It's bigger and better in Texas. And right now, I think we're losing the recruiting battle, and that's just what it is. But I don't know. I know this. We got a big game coming up, and it's definitely going down. And I know a lot of y'all didn't know this, but Texas holds The all-time series against Alabama, 7 wins, 1 loss, 1 tie.
And when
Boom.
was the last time these two schools met?
I don't give a dang. When the last time that Alabama won was what? I think 2010. It don't matter. We hold the all-time series lead. Period.
Well, that's going to change very soon. Soon as you step foot in that SEC, that's going to go from 7-1. By the time you wink your eyes or blink them, it's going to be 20-7.
Hey, guess what? Hey, that's why you play the game, boss. That's all I can tell you. That's why we play the game. You'll never know who's gonna win. I mean, I remember the Aggies went down there and won. Nobody picked them to win, but they won.
A&M is a better football team than UT.
Boy, if John, Doc, what the
Yo,
hell?
I-
We kicking this fool out the studio. What in the world did he just say? I know he don't believe that.
repeat
Ain't no
Best
way in
that.
hell
football
he believes it.
team
Ain't
in
no
the
way you
state
can
of
believe that.
Texas
Well, you're
is
crazy.
Texas A&M.
You're crazy.
Okay,
Right
if
now.
I'm so
Okay,
crazy,
yeah.
who's ranked
Right
and who's
now,
not
right
ranked?
now, overall head to head, no, Texas better than A&M.
At
But
this current,
how do
at
we
this,
know that though? They hadn't played each other. How do we know
Hey
that?
man, hold
man,
on, wait.
come on.
My bad.
How do we know that?
I done changed the whole
How
narrative
do
of
we
what we
know
talking
that?
about. Man, we not playing Texas A&M on Saturday. We playing Alabama. This our keys to success. This how Texas gonna win. Robinson, he got to keep the chains moving. He got to get about 100 yards plus 2 tugs, and we'll win with Robinson doing that. And don't forget this: we got a backup, Mr. Johnson, 6'2", 223.
Hmm.
He gonna come with it too. He just as good. He just as good.
Hmm.
Now, the on the flip side of that, what I do worry about is can our offensive line handle their defensive line? So how's our quarterback gonna play with the pressure that Alabama's gonna bring? You know, they got the size, they got the speed, so we know they're coming with it. But I got it all figured out. All we need him to do is get 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
Oh wait, I take it back. Get 2, maybe 3 touchdowns. But if he can pass the ball for 300 yards with no interceptions, so you do the math. We got 100 plus yards rushing on the ground. We got 300 yards in the air. We got 2 touchdowns by the running back, 2 touchdowns by the quarterback. We're going to win the game. Texas has wide receivers left and right
Hmm.
that can go at any moment. So that's how we're gonna win this game.
So what's your prediction? What
Yeah,
you
it
got?
is. I'm gonna save it till y'all finish talking. I'm gonna let everybody say what they're gonna say. And I'm gonna give y'all my scope. Go Greasy. I know what you got. Go ahead.
Well, going back, uh, I'm not going to just say Texas is the only state where you get quality recruits or
Uh,
blue chippers from.
you know I ain't say that.
I'm gonna show some love to Florida, and I'm
Yes.
definitely gonna show some love to Cali
Yes.
on that
And
behalf. And if you're looking for a quarterback,
Georgia.
as when we were growing up, I'm gonna go with Pennsylvania. But
Hmm.
on a lighter note, Texas doesn't have that appeal anymore. I think we're in a different time. This new generation is all they really not into competing. Everybody wants to be guaranteed something, so they choose the Alabamas, the Georgias, the Ohio States. Texas has been irrelevant since '05 for
Yeah.
the most part. That's a long time. That's a long time to be out of the limelight. Yes, they have all the resources, A, B, and C, but when it comes down to the most money, they still not even top two.
They're not.
Uh, that's A&M and LSU. Uh, Furthermore, I get what you're saying about what Texas needs to do, but I want to pose a question to everyone. When was the last time somebody put 100 yards on the ground on Alabama? Uh, Secondly, when was the last time a quarterback lit them up for 300 plus yards? You have to ask yourself these questions. And with that being said, um, there's no way I could roll with UT. The Crimson Tide is basically a machine. They can plug in any blue chipper or recruit in and get a result. And I'm not saying Alabama's gonna walk the dog on UT, uh, but I do like them in a 31-10 game.
Oh damn, that sounds like us walking a damn dog.
It is. It's walking the park.
The hell
I
you
would have
talking
said
about?
my definition of walking the dog would have been 31-0 or 31-3. I'm gonna give them a touchdown. It's even though it's only the second game, uh, it's gonna start off slow, and then you'll just see Alabama pick up um, because they are that good. Uh, is Texas on their level? No. Is Texas ready for the SEC? We're gonna find out sooner than later.
All right,
What
Juice Man,
about
what
you?
you got?
Okay, so to put it all in perspective, in 20 had a they started in 4-1, right? But it was quickly derailed by three straight losses to Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, Baylor. And what makes it even worse is that they held a double digit lead in the third quarter, and they let the games get away, and they finished 5-7. And the worst loss of all was to a two-win Kansas team. But the good news is
Mm,
that
mm, mm.
Sarkeesian he brought in a five-star QB and Quinn Ewers, and they've got a top five recruiting class on the offensive line and a defensive line. So that's good. But I really think the biggest issue with Texas is their defense. They gave up 31 points and 202 rushing yards per game with zero pass rush. And there's nobody on their defensive line that could rush the passer. So that's really the I think that's the main reason why they couldn't hold on to leads because they couldn't stop a nosebleed.
Well,
So to fix that, they brought in former TCU head coach Gary Patterson to fix it. So I think things aren't going to change until they fix that defense. They've got the pieces on offense. I think they need to find ways to get Bijan Robinson on out in space where linebackers have to cover him. As good as Will Anderson is, I think he can get exposed being having to cover.
what?
Yes, I I've seen it.
Oh, hell
There
no.
there there there's there's holes in that Bama defense,
No.
but they have to. Texas is gonna have to find ways to exploit it. If they don't, then it's gonna be a long day.
No, no. No, no. I don't see it happening. I appreciate all the talking points. Look, Nick Saban is returning 8 starters on his defense. There may be holes in the defense,
Hello,
but Texas is not going to be able to expose them. Now, the key man
hello.
is Will Anderson, one of my Heisman sleepers, I guess. I think he's the best player in college football. And Bijan Robinson. It's going to be fun to see those two knock heads and, chess match and see how Texas is going to use him and how they're going to, try to get away from Will Anderson. But at the end of the day, I think Texas will fight. They'll show that, they're a little bit better. I don't think they have the hogs and the dogs up front to compete for 4 quarters, even in the Austin humidity and the Texas heat. Looks like it may be low 90s. Definitely not 110 degrees or anything like that where they have to fight through all that. But they don't have the horses. I don't think they want to win. I don't think they have the right coach in place to pull this one off. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and put my score out there. I'm looking at that 31, Will Anderson. I like that number, Greasy. I'm gonna go University of Alabama 31. I'm gonna go Texas 19. I think Texas will keep it close. Third quarter, Alabama starts to pull away. Too much depth, too much Tide, too much Saban, too much Will Anderson. Roll Tide.
Hey Doc, I don't mean to interrupt you, but let me be devil's advocate real quick. Let me ask you this question. So how did Georgia beat Bama in the national championship?
Alabama lost their 2 starting wide receivers, and Alabama was not able to go up tempo as they were able to go in the SEC championship, and that allowed Jordan Davis and the rest of the defensive line to continue to get pressure and rest.
And not only that, Juice, you have to think about it. You posed the question, how did Georgia beat them? Georgia had the horses, they had the dogs.
There you go.
So when you look at it, yeah, Alabama got them at one time, but we knew that this team can stand on that same playing field with Alabama and get that dub. We knew that.
Well, if you take a look at the SEC championship and the national championship game, it was the fact that in the SEC championship game, Alabama went hurry up, and Georgia had not seen that. And as you can remember, Jordan Davis, the anchor of the defense, was sucking wind 6-7 minutes into first quarter, and I don't think I saw him again to the third quarter. And by that time, Alabama was marching up and down the field. Now, what happened in that championship game? Like I said, the two outside threats got hurt. Alabama had to slow it down. Georgia was able to rotate, and Georgia basically gave them a slow bleed like they did everybody else. I think that's how they pulled that off.
And
So-
what's the
so
name of
you-
that kid
so you-
that's returning for Alabama? What's the quarterback? What's his name?
Bryce
Bryce Young.
Bryce
So-
Young.
Exactly.
So you have no faith in Texas's weapons like Bijan Robinson, Xavier Worthy, any of those weapons on off. You have no faith in them being able to keep up
All
What
very
as far as
you-
good.
scoring.
All
What
very
you-
good.
There are a lot of quality backs in the SEC, and I posed a question: when was the last time you just seen a running back chew Alabama up?
That'd be Ezekiel Elliott, 2015.
That was many
That's about
moons
the
ago.
last time.
Last quarterback to do him in probably was Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, agreed.
So it's far and few. I like the weapons Texas has. I like what they're doing. I think they're on the way to making some noise.
Right.
Not this Saturday, not this year. And plus, I'm not sold on Sarkisian as the head coach. That's my score, though. 31-19. What you got, Juice, for the score?
I got Bama. I want to say maybe 37. I'm gonna give Texas 20. 37-20 is my score.
What about it, Greasy?
Oh, you know, y'all know me. I already called it. 31-10.
All right, King Gray.
All right, here we go. The score is gonna be 38-21. Damn it, Bama gets the win.
Bama gets the win. I feel you. Like,
I mean, because the thing is, I have to keep it real, man. I have to push my fandom to the side. I'm a fan, but I don't think we're ready yet. I still don't think we're ready. And as Juice stated, the one thing that's definitely been missing from Texas for a long time is defense.
that's it.
So yeah,
All levels, all sports. 9 times out of 10, even if you go to baseball, you got 2-3 good pitchers and a good bullpen, you're probably going to shut some good hitting down in the playoffs. And in all sports, defense wins championships. But rolling right along, got a traditional basketball school and a traditional football school, and they're going to knock helmets. We got the Florida Gators taking on the University of Kentucky Wildcats. I remember several players from the University of Kentucky last season. As we take a look at them, they beat Florida last year. But Kavasier Smoke and Chris Rodriguez and those guys there, we did a little show on them last year against Georgia, and they got a taste of reality. Florida's fresh off a win over Utah. That was a very, very, very good game.
great game.
ESPN 6 o'clock. Florida defense looked fast. They look very, very fast.
Doc,
I'm struggling with their quarterback position. I'm struggling with Florida's quarterback position. They got the defense. They got the running game. Kentucky's Kentucky. They can sneak you if you're not paying attention to them. I'm not so sold on this game, though. I'm going to go Gators in this one.
hey Doc, I'm nervous about this one myself, but I'm gonna tell you why. Because the quarterback was okay. He was average. Anthony Richardson. He threw for 168 yards. 168 yards. No touchdowns, no interceptions. But then he turned around and rushed for 100 more. 106 yards rushing. So what is that telling me? They running game is obsolete because your quarterback is the leading rusher and the leading passer. That's not gonna get it done, man.
It spells trouble.
They will not consistently get it done. Not in the SEC, it won't. Not being the University of Florida, because you're gonna take everybody's best blow.
That's true.
And I really have a strong feeling about this game. And I kind of want to go Kentucky right now. I kind of want to roll the dice and say Kentucky, but I won't. I'll say Florida 21-14.
Okay, Florida 21. So we got food for the Gators. What about it, Green? Slide on through. Tell us something good.
You know what? I feel what y'all saying, but we all knew last year that Kentucky team was very special. Florida was just teetering along. Went up there to Kentucky and they took an L. This year, the game is going to be in the Swamp. This team plays at a different level down there in Gainesville.
True.
You know, they coming off a dub, beat a good Utah team out of the Pac-12. I really like Florida in this game. Last year they had the freshman quarterback. They were playing musical chairs with the QB. Seemed as if they somewhat figured it out. Defense looks a little bit better. History, maybe way before me, but Kentucky's never had too successful campaign. So I'm a roll with the Gators on this one, 28-17, down there in the Swamp.
I see. I can see where Greasy coming from on that. This is a tough place to play. That Swamp has traditionally been, it's one of the hardest places to play in college football, definitely for sure. Juice Man, any insight?
Well, I think this is going to be probably one of the most competitive games of the weekend. I think, if I'm really honest, I really think we've got two evenly matched teams. We've got a Kentucky team they've got multiple NFL draft prospects on their defensive line. They've got a quarterback has continued to get better. He threw for over 3,000 yards and threw for 33 touchdowns. He's also good at running the ball when things break down. They've got a great running game, and so Florida they've got pretty much the same thing on their side. I think it's going to be close all the way through, but I'm going to give the edge to Florida because they're at home. I'm going to say it's going to be a field goal difference. I'll say 27-24, Florida.
Okay. So we got every clean sweep. Clean sweep around this piece. Everybody going with the University of Florida. I just hope it's a good game. At the end of the day, I think this Swamp is too much. I think Kentucky's going to put up a little bit of fight, but I think the Gators end up taking that one on home. So we're going to slide right on into the NFL. We did give our predictions on the Buffalo Bills and the Los Angeles Rams from SoFi. We gave those predictions last week. We got 3 NFL games we want to jump into. We're going to talk about the Steelers and the Bengals. Bengals did make the Super Bowl last year. I just think they ran into some incompetent teams. Number one incompetent team they ran against was the Tennessee Titans. How did you sack the quarterback 9 times and trick the game off? I have no idea. And then Patrick Mahomes went Super Mario Kart in the second half of the AFC Championship and decided he wanted to run around in circles instead of advancing the ball down the field, and they didn't score a single point in the second half, and Cincinnati ended up in the Super Bowl. Offensive line was a big problem. I think they just caught lightning in the bottle. Breaking down what the Steelers are doing on the other end. I don't think Trubisky is the answer at quarterback. I think Pickett will eventually end up starting. I like the defense. Got a section in the podcast, Just Noah's YouTube channel, Steelers Playmakers, Fitzpatrick and TJ Watt, Bush coming back, offensive line a little bit better. Najee Harris, a hard runner, tough runner. I'm gonna go with Steelers on this one. I like what they're doing. I don't think Cincinnati makes it back to the playoffs. I just see it. Too many holes on bend but don't break defense. We know what happened to Eli Apple in the Super Bowl, but I'm really sold on the Steelers on this one.
Hey,
Steelers
Doc.
20,
Hey,
Bengals.
Doc.
Yo,
Check this out. I was thinking about it, and I don't pick a team that went to the Super Bowl to go back to the Super Bowl. It just doesn't happen too often. But here's something that's man alarming. That they got Joe Smooth, they got Joe Mix, they got P Ryan, they got Williams. Travion Williams is a former running back at Texas A&M, by the way. I know you like that one, Juice.
already.
They got they got Boyd, Chase, Higgins. I'm looking at a crap ton of offense from just with all those names, right? But we all know the offense isn't the problem. But Hendrickson, he had 14 sacks for that D
14
line.
sacks.
14
Yeah.
sacks. He had you got now here's the problem. Sam Hubbard and BJ Hill. Sam Hubbard had 7.5, BJ Hill had 5.5. I'm saying for me, if those two can pick up their production and Trey pick his up just a little bit more than what he did last season, that defensive line, that defensive front gonna be a beast. And that right there alone will help that. I see them like I see the Jets. If you, I'm not again. I know we battle about this, but Darrell Reeves, he benefited a lot from that defensive front. When your defensive front can disrupt the quarterback's timing, that helps everything, man. They getting that pressure back there. He needs 4 seconds, and all he getting is 2.5. He got to throw this ball, so he gonna overthrow it. He gonna underthrow it. He gonna throw it to the wrong spot. So if they can fix that, if that defensive line, those two guys, Hubbard and Hill, if they could come on with the come on, Cincinnati just might be all right. So I'm gonna pick Cincinnati in this game. 28-21.
I mean, with this football game, I mean, no one could actually go wrong. I state this at the beginning of every football season. Bad teams play their best game week one. Not saying that Pittsburgh is a bad football team nor the Bengals, but you have to look at it at the fact as what Jones touched on with that defense. You got Watts, you got Minka Fitzpatrick. The defense could get after it if they can hold it close. Um, since, excuse me, Pittsburgh had since the debut of the schedule coming out to prepare for this game. So all those weapons you mentioned on Cincinnati, that's cute. Uh, but like I said, you had over a month to prepare for this. I don't expect nothing outrageous. Um, there are some gaping question marks with the Steelers as far as the quarterbacking of Mitch Trubisky. We know what that is. Even though we know Chicago, that's just a grease fire offensively. I think he's gonna learn a little bit more with the Steelers. Um, then you have Pickett, a kid I love. They got right out the backyard from the University of Pittsburgh. Maybe he gets a shot later on in the season. Maybe he gets a shot in this game, depending on how Trubisky comes out. And once again, the O line, and we're going to see if the receivers can step up in this game. I really like Pittsburgh in this, in a close one, get off on a good foot for the season. I expect the Bengals to digress this season. I'm going to go with the Steelers in this one. 17-16 Steelers.
Mm, keeping it tight, keeping it tight.
keeping it tight and keeping it funky. So it looks like we 4-0 across the board. Everybody pretty much seems like they're on board with the Steelers. That makes sense.
I haven't given my thoughts yet.
Okay.
I
Okay.
thought King
Yeah,
picked the Bengals.
I thought I
Who
thought
picked the
yeah,
Bengals?
yeah. I haven't gone yet.
Then we still need Juice.
Yeah, yeah. Hey,
Give
Greasy,
it to us,
hey,
Juice.
Greasy, I appreciate you giving my boys some love, man. And I'm a little skeptical, man, because I looked at the 2021 regular season. The Bengals defeated my Steelers twice, week 3 and in week 12. Week 3 what I found alarming was how the Steelers attacked their offensive philosophy was a question mark for me, comparing it to how the Bengals played their offense. I mean, Joe Burrow, he was efficient. He didn't have to throw the ball a lot. I mean, he only threw it. He went from 14 of 18 for 172 yards and 3 TDs with 1 pick. But on the other hand, on the other side, my boy Big Ben,
The
he had to throw the
turnover.
ball 58 times.
How many interceptions
38,
he threw?
38 of 58 for 318, 1 touchdown, 2 picks,
Two
with a
picks.
33 QBR, and he was sacked 4 times. The Steelers' run game was nowhere to be found.
Abysmal.
Najee Harris went 14 carries for 40 yards. I mean, come on, man. What are you gonna do with that?
What was the
I
final
mean,
score of that? What was the final score of that game, Juice?
it was 24 to 10.
24 to
Yeah,
10.
right.
So I'm thinking if you turn the ball over that many times and you only beat a team 24 to 10, basically 2 touchdowns. But
It was
I
only
let
two
you finish. I
turnovers, bro.
let you finish. I
Yeah.
let you finish.
Okay. But so anyway, I mean, really the only thing Harris did, I mean, he led the team in with receiving yards, 102. But I really think that can only get you so far. Like the other guys, the Chase Claypools, the uh, what's his name, Washington, guys like that they have to show up, and they just didn't do enough. And I think the main issue on the offense is the offensive line. They couldn't pass protect and they couldn't run block. I mean, they couldn't do anything. And then in week 12 it was even worse. I mean, they let Joe Mixon run for 28 times, 165 yards and 2 TDs. I mean, um, so with all that being said, I think in 2022 the Steelers, they have to fix the O line. They've got to open up the offense. I don't care who the quarterback is. It can be Mitch Trubisky or the rookie Pickett. They got to somehow, some way open it up. And then on defense, linebackers Devin Bush and the linebacker from Jacksonville, Miles Jack. They've got to show up and make their presence known.
They
Um,
will.
and so, but like I said last week, they're already dealing with injuries. Najee Harris has a foot issue. T.J. Watt hurt his knee against Detroit, and then Deontay Johnson's got a shoulder issue. And so, and the fact that they're going into Bengals Stadium, I just don't see them coming out with a win. It's gonna be low scoring, so I say it's gonna be 23-17 Bengals.
Okay. Okay.
I'm an
Good.
objective fan, man. I'm not delusional like Cowboy fans.
Right,
Yeah, but
Good
yeah,
punch, Juice.
right on.
but
So we got three Steelers.
Steelers.
We got three for the Steelers and one for the Bengals. Mark,
No,
mark
you
that
got
there.
two. You got two for the Steelers and two for the Bengals.
Are you going with the Bengals too? Okay.
Yeah, I
So
picked the Bengals.
we got two with the Bengals and two with the Steelers. I like Pittsburgh to take care of business up there. We're gonna see what Joey B and Jamar Chase and Joe Mixon could be key, but I think still a little too tough up front. But we're gonna slide right on into the next game,
Mm.
which, if you checked out our NFC prediction show, this is gonna set the tone for what I think it's gonna be a Vikings NFC North crown. I think they're the best team in the NFC North. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to sorely miss Devontae Adams. He doesn't quite trust his other receivers. I think Green Bay is slowly transitioning into more of a running team. You got AJ Dillon, Chuck Wagon, ground and pounding. You got Aaron Jones. So they got a two-headed monster thing going. I think Green Bay defense is going to step up a little bit better. But if you look at Minnesota on paper, the defense is not what it has been the last 4 or 5 years. Anthony Barr, Everett, Harrison Smith, Xavier Rose. I remember that defense was pretty tough. Eddie Hendricks. But their transition, they got a lot of weapons on offense. Kirk Cousins is just going to have to play bus driver. I mean, Dalvin Cook, we know what he can do. Justin Jefferson, we know what he can do. Adam Thielen, he's a little long in the tooth. He's getting older, but that is a very, very, very good number 2 wide receiver. I'm taking the Vikings in this one. I think the Packers start off slow this year. I think they're trying to find some identity, and Rodgers out, and God knows where, taking psychedelic stuff to get ready for the season, and he doesn't want to be in Green Bay at the end of the day. He doesn't want to be in Green Bay. I think you can call it arrogance, attitude, or whatever, but some players have earned that tenure that they can kind of do what they want to do. I don't agree with how he lied about the whole COVID thing, but it's Aaron freaking Rodgers. So it's kind of like, yeah, Brett Favre, we had Aaron Rodgers. So at the end of the day, what are the Packers really doing up there in Wisconsin? How do you only get 2 Super Bowls out of those 2 quarterbacks? Aaron Rodgers kind of felt like, hey, if you're going to bring this guy in, if you're going to bring Joe Blow in, hey, at least run it by me. I deserve that. You know? He don't want to be there. I think he's playing his way out. They drafted Jordan Love to really replace him. We know he's feeling salty about that. Monte burnt out. I'm taking the Vikings in this one. I think the Vikings, they might beat them up. They might beat them up physically. But just because it's an old Norris rivalry, I'm going to go Vikings 23. I'm going to go Packers 14 in this. And I think Aaron Rodgers is trying to find his footing with those new wide receivers. Green Bay defense is going to be better this year. David Bakhtiari is coming back at left tackle. He's been out last couple of years. We're going to see how he holds up. Taking Vikings 23-14. They're going to start off the season with the dub over the Pack.
Vikings 21, Green Bay 14. And I might change it. I might make it 17. 17-21. And the only reason why I say that is because I just don't have faith in Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
I don't have faith in Kirk Cousins at all. I'm still picking the Vikings to win the division.
Right.
Definitely like Jefferson. You know I love Dalvin Cook. But one thing I will say is this. I've been talking about defense, and I've been kind of focusing on the defensive fronts right now in the NFL. And collectively, the defensive front wasn't that bad. I mean, they really weren't. They didn't have anybody that just jumped off the charts. Yeah. I mean, I don't even want to mess his name up, but DJ, he had 8 sacks, man. And that was it. That was their sack. He had 8 sacks. And Daniel Hunter had 6. And then everybody else just kind of collectively chipped in here and there. 5,
Right.
2, 2.5, 3. So if you could give, I'm right now, I'm going with defensive lines right now because the defensive line can control the entire game.
That's it.
If that quarterback don't have time to throw the ball, or you don't even have time to, I mean, there are no holes to run the ball in. What you gonna do? You don't have to have great cornerbacks if you got a great defensive front. So I'm taking Minnesota, man. I take Minnesota 21-17 final score.
2 Vikings. 2 Vikings.
And then hold on, I gotta add this too, man. Losing Adam definitely sucks for Rodgers, man. What are you replacing him with?
I mean,
Well, they still have. Check this out. Adams was the number 1 on that team. I mean, you still have Lazard, and you still have a host of other players on there. But I will say this. That's a bad man. And y'all didn't learn nothing last year when every time y'all picked against the Packers. Look, check this out. I don't have faith with the Packers in the playoffs. But in the regular season, besides that first game when the Saints smacked them in the mouth, I think Rodgers remembers that Minnesota is like something is missing. You just can't quite put your finger on it.
I can see that.
Cousins is very serviceable. Everyone got to excuse me. Had a little dentist appointment today. Also, with Jefferson and Cook, yeah, that's there. But like I said, this is the first week. Everybody had all this time to prepare. Aaron Rodgers is still considered top 5 QB in this league. I don't think he gets punched in the mouth this year. Aaron Rodgers literally owns the NFC North, or yeah, in the Norris division, pretty
Mm.
much owns it. And so I love Aaron Jones as a back. Good. They did lose a piece on defense, pass rusher with Smith. They did lose that piece, but I think the Packers get this done. I really feel as if they're going to get it done. Aaron, he's going to have a so-so game. Not going to say he's going to put up 400 yards. He'll probably put up somewhere between 250, somewhere around 250. Jones gonna put in 100, and when the smoke clears, I think it'll be Green Bay 24, Minnesota 21.
Okay, okay. He jumping out there. He going with the pack early up there in the metro, in the old Metro Dome, at old Minneapolis, Metropolis, whatever you want to call it. He taking the pack on the road.
How about it, Juice Man?
Well, after doing my research for for these two teams, um, the Vikings. Well, what I found out was that I think the Vikings had enough. They had enough with Mike Zimmer's coaching philosophy, his old school defensive coaching style, and I feel like that was probably the ultimate problem with the team. Um, so they went and hired a young coach, a young offensive mind, Kevin O'Connell, who was the OC for the Super Bowl champ LA Rams, and he was also the was Kirk Cousins QB position coach in 2017. So there's some familiar. They're familiar with each other. They're also going to be doing some changes with how they run the ball. They're going to switch from a mid-zone running attack to a more power and gap schemes. And we know what Davin Cook can do. So I feel like he can run in any kind of system. We know about the offense. Justin Jefferson, he's one of the best young wideouts today. Adam Thielen, he's still reliable. The defense, y'all check this stat out. The defense is coming off back-to-back seasons of allowing 400 or more points. That's the first time in 62 years.
Did you hear that,
Um,
King Drew?
Yep.
and so this season they're gonna do away with Zimmer's 4-3 defensive scheme, and they're gonna incorporate a 3-4 scheme. And
Oh,
um, but they're hoping that they have the right personnel. They signed former Green Bay Packer Zadarius Smith. He's going to be lined up with defensive end Daniil Hunter, and so they're hoping that he can add some uh, some pressure on quarterbacks.
right, right.
And so I'm gonna go ahead and be quick on Green Bay. I don't like this team, and
Damn.
it's mainly because of their diva, selfish, arrogant, and conspiracy theorist quarterback. I
Get your
cannot
heart
st-
out of it.
I
Like
cannot
I
stand
tell
Aaron.
TV,
I
get
cannot
your
stand
heart out
Aaron.
of it.
I cannot stand Aaron Rodgers, man.
Dang.
He may be able to throw a nice ball. I mean, he's great at that. My problem with him is his personality, how he treats his teammates. No matter the situation, he never takes accountability for his actions or his play. He's always throwing his teammates under the bus, his
Arrogant and
coaches.
selfish.
Come on, Juice.
And I always
Come on
wonder
now.
why. Hey, check this out though. I always wonder why former receiver and Super Bowl champion receiver Greg Jennings left the team. You know why he left? Because Rodgers didn't support him when he was trying to get a new contract.
I wish
They
you
won
would
a
have
su- and
stayed
they've
till you
won a
came to
su-
Oakland, and I couldn't stand Jennings.
and they won a
Should have
Super Bowl
stayed.
together. I'm like, I mean, come on. Like, how can you not support your main guy? But I digress. So
Mm.
for this game specifically, I'm rooting for the Vikings to take down Green Bay. I hope Daniil Hunter and company get to Aaron Rodgers early and often, at least 4 sacks, and
Mm.
force him into a few turnovers and make him frustrated.
What's it?
Dalvin Cook will have 125 yards rushing, and a TD. Vikings win 27-23.
Somebody mute his mic because he got his heart all in it. Mute his mic. You
You wanted
can't
me to come with some passion? I'm coming with some passion.
you
I
can't
want
pick a score based on because you know how many NFL players and teams I do not like. I'm
Come
not gonna
on,
put my
Juice.
heart in it every week.
Come on, man.
Hold on, wait,
Come
wait.
on, Juice. But it's all good. It's all
He's
love.
eviscerated
But
there.
so he does not like he don't like that man personally. Like he'll put them hands on him if he's seen him in public somewhere.
He said, yeah, and he said,
Hey,
Out his hand.
hey, just like last year, Doc, you said you didn't like Cooper Cup.
yeah, he did, and
Yeah,
he
he
said,
couldn't
and
stand.
he
No, he
said,
couldn't stand Cooper Cup.
Hold
and he
on, Juice. But from my
It,
understanding, you picked the Packers to beat the 49ers. You and
what are you
Doc.
talking about?
last year.
Last year in the playoffs, you picked the Packers to beat only
Well,
me and King Dre picked them 49ers.
Yep, we
well,
the only
it's
ones picked the 49ers, buddy.
well,
I rode
it's
49ers
hey,
all the way through.
Everybody else
it's
picked the Packers. TB was in his feelings
well,
about the
it's a new
Cowboy
year. It's
loss.
2022.
Oh,
Well,
He
okay.
said, damn all that. Hey
all
man,
right.
hey
Well,
Doc, you know what time it is, man.
oh yeah, you already know
You
what
know, I don't
time it
even know
is.
why we sitting there even procrastinating the realism of what's coming up.
Man, you know what time it is. Sunday night game.
Ooh,
Going
hey,
down, going down in Jerry's world. This is a replay and a rematch of Week 1 last year, Thursday night game. Tampa Bay versus Dallas. I mean, at the end of the day, Dallas is Dallas. They're gonna get the ratings, they're gonna get the views, they're gonna get the clicks because it's America's team. And this game here is all about ratings. Tom Brady coming back, 45 years old. It just seems like he keeps changing the narrative on what the quarterbacks of the future will have to do to even get on the same stratosphere as him as far as being the best at that position, maybe the best football player ever. So it's just, it is what it is. But as far as the game, the actual game itself, as I spoke on earlier in the NFC preview show, I like Dallas to win the NFC East. I think Dallas is also a team that is transitioning. The best team on Dallas is Michael Parsons. Too. Point blank, period. Yeah, CeeDee Lamb is a game changer. He's nice. Dak, you got a $40 million quarterback. You got Zeke, a former shell of himself. You got Trayvon Diggs. He's a gambler. He's feast the famine. He's either going to pick six it or he's going to give up 90 yards. This team goes, as far as the defense goes, and the leader of the defense is Michael Parsons. He is undoubtedly, unequivocally, without peer, the best player on the Dallas Cowboys. Now, with that being said, Tampa Bay has offensive line problems. They're trying to figure it out, but they're loaded. Chris Godwin, we don't know if he's playing, but they got Mike Evans, they got Julio, they got Bray. Bray's no Gronk, but Bray can get down the field. Leonard Fournette, we're going to see. They said he came in camp almost 290, 280 something off from there. So we're going to see what's going down. I like Tampa Bay's defense. I don't like Dallas's offense. I don't like their offensive line. I don't like Zeke. I like Pollard. I like Lamb. I think Tampa's got enough defense to keep it close. I'm going to go Dallas in this one, though, just because simple fact that they're at home. Tampa Bay is kind of struggling on the offensive side of the ball, and I think this is the year Michael Parsons shows that he is the defensive MVP. I'm looking at Michael Parsons with Lawrence Taylor, 86 type sack and NFL Defensive Player of the Year numbers. I think he gets after Tom Brady's ass, folks.
Hey,
Hold on, King.
hold on, Greedy. Hold on.
3.5 sacks, and the Cowboys win 19-14.
Hey, and Doc, I'm getting your paperwork ready. You're gonna go in for a random in the morning.
Hey, you ready for this, Doc?
Go ahead.
The last time we saw the Cowboys play at home, can you just remind me of what happened?
The 49 ran all up and down the field, but here's the difference.
No, wait.
No. I know what you're going to say.
I just want you to give me an answer so I can move on. I'm gonna move on real quick because you said all the highlights that I was gonna say, so it's cool. We got Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and Julio Jones, and all these people got over. Well, Julio didn't get over 1,000 yards, but the other two did, and they averaged Mike 14 yards a catch and Chris 11 yards a catch. But here's what I was gonna say. Here's what I'm going to say that's probably going to be totally different. This game ain't Dallas versus Tampa Bay. This game is Dallas versus Dallas. Dallas has to go in this game and not beat themselves.
That's it.
Period.
Hmm.
That's a
That's
good
the only way
point.
they can win. But right now, here's what I'm gonna highlight. They have a new left tackle. Single-handedly one of the most important players on the field for a quarterback. Your left
Say
tackle.
that again for the people in the back, King.
He has a Dak Prescott has a brand new left tackle.
Hmm.
And yeah, you're right. You I've been saying this all along about Diggs. He's a gambler.
Yep.
He's a gambler. Clickety clack, he gonna roll them dice. And just like you said, either he gonna come up good or he gonna come up. It's never in between.
Right.
Either he gonna make a play or he gonna get played on. Period. Parsons super talent on the defense, but guess what? Parsons can't do it by himself, man. He cannot. He ain't. Listen, as much as you sold on him, he ain't no damn Lawrence Taylor.
Whoa.
He
Hold
ain't
on.
no
Not
damn.
yet.
Hold on.
Not
Amen.
yet.
He
Amen.
Not
ain't no
yet.
damn Lawrence Taylor. I
Amen.
don't
Hold
care
on.
what
Preach.
you say. He ain't no
Preach.
damn Lawrence Taylor.
Hold
Preach.
on.
Period. And hold on. I'm gonna finish in just a second. This is how I'm gonna finish this. You tell me who the number one wide receiver is for the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, right now, CD Lamb.
Hold on.
Is he a number one receiver?
Is he a number one receiver?
No, I don't think he's the number one receiver.
Okay, then. So my
But,
point is, Dak don't even have a damn number one receiver to throw the ball to.
well, by default, they're going to
Did,
draw.
did
They're
how
going to
many
draw.
drops did? If I'm not mistaken, y'all correct me, please. Wasn't CD Lamb in the top 5 in drops?
That is true.
And that's your number one receiver? Get the
Boy
hell
couldn't
out of
catch a
here!
cold.
By default, and scheme alone, he's going to get the most targets. So by default, that makes him a number one receiver. Is
No.
he?
I get that. I
Is
get
he?
that part of
I
it.
get what you're saying. Is he a number one receiver?
Right.
I think he's
Hell no.
I think he's a John Taylor to a Jerry Rice. As a matter of fact, when he first got drafted, I told Greasy, "Hey, this kid looks like John Taylor or John Stallworth. Complimentary number twos, 2 number 1 wide receivers." But when Rice
He
was
looked
out,
like Peerless Price to me.
when Rice was out, John Taylor by default got the short slants and was taking them 80, 90 yards. And when Swanee was hurt, they went to Starworth. So by default, he's going to get most of the plays drawn up. I think he can fill in to right now. And then when Gallup gets back, he can move him around and do whatever. But hold on, let's revisit this Michael Parsons thing. Write this down, jot this down, mark this down. He's going to be the defensive MVP.
Not
And,
happening.
and
Not
he
happening.
and he alone is the most versatile electric linebacker that I have seen coming straight out of college.
I think there's a guy on the other team
Since
that has a lot to say about that.
since Khalil Mack.
Oh, Lord.
And remember, Khalil Mack with the Raiders was a All-Pro at defensive end and outside linebacker. Michael Parsons.
That's true, but what a lot of
Michael
people
Parsons
miss about
has that.
Khalil Mack,
Michael Parsons has that type of talent. Yes, you can move him around. You can run. You can play him at defensive tackle in the NASCAR scheme. You can play him at outside linebacker. You can play him at inside linebacker, which is why I said if you watch the Michael Parsons film breakdown, I would take him over Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald's either going to be on the inside or the outside. Michael Parsons, you don't know where he's coming from. Give him the Swiss Army knife. I'm sold on Parsons. I think this year he's defensive MVP, and I think this year the kid gets close to 15, 17 sacks. And I think he's going to get 3 of them on Brady Sunday night.
Tampa Bay 21, Dallas 20.
What about it, Greasy?
whoo. I'm gonna start off with the Bucks. When we talk about the best defenses in the NFL coming into this season, last season for that, it's always the Rams, the Bills, and the Buccaneers. Great linebacking core. Now with this new head coach who's defensive minded, they're gonna only get better. Let Tom Brady call his plays, do his thing. He has a lot of toys out there. I don't care if Fournette showed up at 3:05 camp. Everything is gonna be all right. Now, the situation with the Cowboys, I hear the Michael Parsons. No, he's not LT. Never will be an LT. Won't win Defensive Player of the Year. But what I will say is, I've seen this story before offensively. When you have an unproven receiver, I'm gonna take you back to the Buffalo Bills. Peerless Price thought he was that guy. He rolled out to Atlanta and did absolutely nothing. It's a reason why CeeDee Lamb was open, made the big plays. Why? Because Gallup took that pressure off, and of course, Amari Cooper took that pressure off. So now that's gone. That's completely gone. I don't see this offense being explosive at all. Zeke, ever since Zeke got that check, it is what it is out there. Maybe they need to bring Jason Witten back on the tight end because I've seen Zach fall back when Witten left him. And I think Zach's already not that accurate. He makes terrible passes throwing at the feet. And that Dallas defense is just not going to hold. I'm along board with King Dre. Micah doesn't play all 11 positions on defense. Can he affect the game? Yes, maybe. But this is Tom Brady. And on the lines of Juice, yes, I'm not a Tom Brady fan, but at the end of the day, I'm going to respect him and I'm going to keep my heart out of it. I'm going to go with the Bucks 27, Cowboys 13. Rack. Come on, Juice man. What you got?
All right, I'm gonna keep my heart. I'm gonna keep my heart out of this one, and I'm gonna try to be brief.
Yeah.
With Tampa Bay, I still think despite Tom Brady's advanced age, he's seen every defensive coverage, known to man. I think they do have some offensive line issues, but I think they're pretty straight in everywhere else. I mean, he's got plenty of weapons to go to. Mike Evans, you got an aging Julio Jones. That's he's kind of been injured last couple years, but I still think he can do some damage. Leonard Fournette, he's still a beast to me. And as far as Dallas's defense, I mean, the only person I would be worried about would be Parsons. But he's like Dre said, he's just one guy. Nobody else on the Dallas defense scares me if I'm Tom Brady.
Not even DeMarcus Lawrence?
Man, DeMarcus Lawrence is like, he comes and he goes. Like, he's not. He disappears in games, a lot of games. So no, I'm not worried about DeMarcus Lawrence. It seems like he plays when he wants to play. That's just what I see with my own eyes. And nobody, I mean, yeah, Diggs had a great year, but I don't see him having another. Well, he had like 11 picks last year, right? I don't see that happening again. And there's nobody else in that secondary that I'm afraid of. So I think it'll be close. But I'm giving Tampa Bay the edge because Dallas is limited on offense. I mean, Dak, he's kind of, I think he's a middle of a road quarterback. He's not elite. CeeDee Lamb, he's not a number one receiver. I would say he's a number two, maybe a number three. Michael Gallup stays hurt. They just don't have enough weapons on offense.
It's
So,
trash, bro.
so I'm gonna say Tampa Bay takes care of business. I'm gonna say Tampa Bay 28, Dallas 17.
All right.
And put
28.
some respect on that man's name, King.
All right.
No NFL players trash.
We got 28-17. So what it look like? We got 2 Tampa, 2 Dallas.
Yep.
2
We
Tampa.
got 3 Tampa, 1.
No, we got 3 Tampa, 1 Dallas.
Are you going Tampa King, Drake?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going Tampa Bay. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, look, you would have to wake up early in the morning and cook King a half a chicken a day before he picked them.
All right, so I'll stand out on this one. I'm sold on Michael Parsons. Y'all gonna see he's gonna make a believer out of y'all real soon. And one man,
He ain't no damn Lawrence Taylor. I don't care what you say.
hey, and one man can make a difference.
We're gonna make a believer out of you, Doc. That he is not that dude.
He is that dude. You would have found out. He didn't know what he was doing last year, and he had 14 and a half. What is it, 14 sacks? He didn't know where he was going. He didn't study no film. He was
But
just
see, Doc,
I wish Michael Parsons was with another team.
Doc, the sophomore season is always the most difficult.
It is. It will always be the soft
because the tape is out on.
The tape is out on. You're right. You're right. But I will say this: if Dallas just try to play him in one position, then that's like with all players. Eventually, you'll get schemed out, and they'll find a way to block you. I think if they move him around, the more effective Parsons becomes, which is why I'm sold on it. But that's gonna wrap it up. We're gonna get on up out here, fellas. It's been a blast. This is the Just Know Sports Show again. Check us out every Friday night. It's 8 p.m. Anchor FM, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. And we'll be back next week with more NFL and college football action. Y'all be easy. We'll holler.